All right, with the release of Big Country Pro Boxing, I wanted to add an addendum to the rules for Big Country Pro Boxing. This is the Chris VSU's version of Big Country Boxing using real fighters, real professional boxers rated. And because Chris is a genius and has provided, all these records. So here's the thing, right? So you say, well, what's on the card? Well, the card's beautiful. It's got all the data we want to know who this man is. We also know what his rating is. That's all we need for the game. But then he puts in all of our data here, and because we are using real boxers, we actually know the knockout rate for Mr. Ingmar Johansson. And so I'm putting out a TKO KO rule addendum to Big Country Pro Boxing, which will further make it just a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more fun, a little bit more accurate. And here's that rule right here. Big Country Pro Boxing, TKO and KO check. I love BCB. Of course, I invented it, but I love BCPB as well. And the only reason that this came to me is I was test playing some of the boxers here that he provided in a PDF last night, and I love it. But I thought, we actually have the data. We can know their knockout percentage. So why not have a secondary knockout check? So anyway, all right. Anyway, I'll continue reading. After hundreds of bouts with BCB and in BCPB, I decided, what if we create more drama around to the round results? What if I make a simple TKO KO check, optional of course, for the game? Now, when you roll a TKO or a KO check, when you roll a TKO or KO result on the round chart, you just make another simple secondary check immediately to verify whether it is an actual TKO or KO. And this is huge because we know that not all boxers are created equal. And I give an example of what that must look like here. We already know a boxer's KO thanks to Chris's amazing boxing cards, and therefore the player must do a bit of math pre-bout and find both boxers' TKO/KO chance. So before the fight, you would write down the difference in the you would write down on their score sheet. Get out a calculator and very quickly tally up all of their fights, divide their KOs by all of their fights, not by their wins, all of their fights, and you're going to get their actual TKO and KO percentage. And we care about actual. We care about not how many times he won a fight by KO. I care about his actual rate, counting every fight of his career, right? So we get even a more accurate chance of him KOing an enemy. So we divide the boxer's total record of fights by his total KOs, and you will find his percentage of KOs in his career. Now, when a TKO or KO results occur, roll the D100 again, and if it is equal to or under the KO percentage, then he wins the bout as he normally would. However, if he doesn't, we score the round 10-7 to reflect a knockdown in that round. So, if you don't get the TKO or KO win, you at least get a 10-7 result, and that would be a knockdown or maybe multiple knockdowns. And that 10-7 would reflect that you battered him or put him to his back or maybe put him to his knee twice or something like that. Okay, example. So we're looking at a heavyweight Jack Sharkey. He had 53 fights, but only 13 KOs, and this is why I decided this last night, right? I had a fight between Jack Sharkey and the greatest, and Sharkey dropped him in like round 3, and I went, okay, the odds that you're going to roll that are really cool. But it's like, well, Jack Sharkey wasn't good at knocking anyone out. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, we could add one more stat to this, and how much more fun. So he had 53 fights divided, and so we divide his 13 by 53. He had a career knockout rate of 25%. Compared to Mike Tyson, which is 86%, right? So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So I made another roll. I picked up the dice, and I dropped the dice, and it was 47 or something, and I said, okay, Muhammad Ali goes down, or he goes to a knee or something, and he loses that round 10-7, but then Ali goes on, and in round 6, wastes Sharkey with a knockout. So, yes, you'd have to check it for every boxer, but now we have more drama. We can score that round as a 10-7 if it doesn't happen. And you'll get less of these flash knockouts by guys that weren't even really good knockout men, right? And even the heavyweights, the difference between, Rocky Marciano's knockout rate and another great heavyweight should matter when Marciano's facing another great heavy that just didn't have as high a knockout rate. So, the reality is, if he felt like doing the math, he could probably add a KO percentage rate to the card, but I don't think I would spend the time doing that because he's literally, by the time Chris is done, he will make literally 1,000 boxers. I don't recommend he waste his time doing the calculations, but it's simple enough because it's an optional rule. This is going right now, as of this very moment. I'm dropping this rule, this formula, into the drive folder. So again, oh, dang it, I'm on the wrong. Let's go back. I'm going to drop this Big Country Boxing. The formula is, where is it at? Here it is. The Big Country Pro Boxing KO rule. Dropping it in, so if people want to grab that, so they'll know. What the rule, so they know how to do the math, right? I mean, I think everybody out there who plays sports games is math superior, but you'd be surprised, people wouldn't know quite how to get this. So right here is a simple formula, take the heavyweights' total fights and divide their knockouts by their total fights. That'll give you the percentage of times they actually were in a fight that they could possibly win by knockdown. Not how many they won, right? I want it to be based on how many fights they were in, because that is really the chance that they're going to win any fight by a TKO or a KO. And remember, mini TKOs, KOs, and by the way, for those who don't know, TKOs are recorded as KOs on the fighter's card, so they don't differentiate when they score statistics. They'll differentiate in the in the press clippings. They'll differentiate, but the reality is this 52 KOs for Joe Louis, that could have been 42 of them could have been TKOs, right? But of course it wasn't. But you get my point. So look at his KO rate, 69 fights, so 52. This is my point. This is why this is so fun. And this is why it really should be part of the actual game. And I can't do this for Big Country Boxing, the career game, because it's fictional. We don't know how many KOs the guy's going to have. So this is why I can't do it for my career game. But there's no reason we can't add this feature to Big Country Pro Boxing. So he had 52 KOs divided by 69 total fights. This dude wasted, so you'll pick up the dice when he gets a TKO or KO, and you'll drop the dice, and if you roll a 75 or less, he'll KO or TKO that cat, and it's over. And now we also see the difference not only between Joe Johnson at 11 and Sharkey at 8. Sharkey, if he happened to score a flash knockout against Joe Louis or a TKO against Joe Louis, he has to confirm it. He's going to have to confirm it, because that's, it is a big deal, right? So anyway, it's a simple rule addendum with a formula right here, and I think it'll make Big Country Pro Boxing, let's put it this way. Last night, I don't know, I probably did 15 bouts. I got to the Sharkey fight, and he would have flashed KO'd, or TKO'd. I think he rolled a TKO. He would have flashed TKO'd Ali. And I said, okay. My stomach said, no, we gotta, and because I had the data right there in front of me on the PC screen, because I was sitting here with my dice. I mean, the great thing is I just pulled it up on the screen. I was rolling the dice and looking at my chart on the tabletop here. So I was using by the way, I was using my chart, not his round charts. I was using my chart. And anyway, I said, no, my stomach says this ain't cool. So let's double check with the Sharkey. So basically, it's a double jeopardy for a guy like Sharkey to actually TKO or KO a guy like Muhammad Ali. And instantly, Big Country Pro Boxing is by far, in a way, my favorite real boxing game. No doubt. I mean, BCB is my favorite sports game right now. I mean, I love my boxing game. But holy cow, BC Pro Boxing, oh man, it's that much sweeter. All right, anyway, that's just an idea. Again, it's optional. Take it or leave it. Bye-bye.